perfect time for you to burn the bridge to self-forgiveness. Now's the chance, take a stand, stay your hand before you cast another vote for corporate interest. Another vote that chokes your hopes of owning your own home or opening a business. They love to say their hands were tied, the stars just weren't aligned for them to get their votes in line to see their promises delivered. But they killed it in an instant. Bills don't die by accident, they're all assassinated on behalf of the congressionally kismet. By some lobbyists who see themselves as agents of clandestine fate, not fences in a prison. Dealing in the stolen goods of sleeping slaves and trading on the futures of their children. Betting on a spread of daily dead where every grave's creating profit by the millions. For some fascists lurking in the wings and all of their affiliates. And every Etna demigod our senators conduct their darkest dealings with. It really gets impossible to document or fingerprint. Cause it isn't just a pattern of corruption, it's the very fabric making up the structure of the system that we're living in. So dash your hopes and down a margarita goes. You box the shadows, take a little nap, and then you get back in and swing again. But if the margarita made you sick, you probably wouldn't take a drink again. So if you're voting either party, honey, think again. I recommend you steel your nerves and never serve an officer, a president, a despot, or a king again. And mark my words, the day will come where we will rise and sing again. And if voting makes you sick, well, no one's forcing you to drink again.
I didn't have to wait for long, I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm, smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even fade the song, can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page we're on, but this is where you say you're wrong.
This is where you finally admit you weren't ignorant. You boldly voted Joe like an informed and blissful idiot. You chose to blur the parts of Biden you don't find the prettiest. Now you choose uplifting news and filter out the grittiest. But the truth is something coarse enough that even when it's hidden, it's apparent when you feel it on your fingertips. I know it's hard to deal with from a distance, and up close the truth is hideous. But there's just no getting rid of it. You've gotta let it enter it. Just worries at your skin at every moment, loud or intimate. But shake it off for fuck's sakes. You don't have to celebrate or be so proud of progress by imaginary increments. You don't have to heap such constant praise on fucking villains like they're stillborn promises or honestly just isolated incidents and not the product of the principle of privilege. Not intentional eugenics just by any other synonym. Covered up with desperate clusterfucks of rosy images. Labeled plain by any other name except for what the fucking image is. So once you stare the page down enough, you'll spot the difference. That one is red and one is blue, and that's the only truth, because neither one delivers on that promise of deliverance. One is red and one is blue, and that's the only difference. And the rest are isolated and imaginary incidents. One is red, one is blue, and that's the only difference.
I didn't have to wait for long, I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm, smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even fade the song, can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page we're on, but this is where you say you're wrong.
Were told to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans.
But a distraction's a distraction, and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe, before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone. Try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit, and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. That a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking...
Legend says that Hercules swept Cerberus right off his feet and effortlessly set him down softly as a songbird. Atlas kept the world upon his back and every day wondered whether he could stand it any longer. And Reade came out to say the man they tried to label the messiah of morality was really just another rapist. And I don't intend to hesitate when asked who was the stronger. Tara, like Assange, knew that carrying the truth would be the hardest labor. Tara knew that her assailant wasn't gonna make us any safer, and knew he's just the type of man to hand a decent foreign leader US printed walking papers, and knew he'd be relentless and aggressive in the war he'd wage upon her very character. That his attempts to weaken and degrade and embarrass her would be her only compensation. But I strongly doubt that anyone could ever have foreseen the stream of hate that came from quote-unquote progressives and the self-styled titans of survivor advocation. So if you really think there's something to be gained out of sharing your pain with the world, you are sorely mistaken. The Biden team just drug their feet addressing Tara's allegations. Until they had a decent list of smears, then they aired them out on every station. And it turns out no one wants to hear the truth of who they praised as being worthy of such bloated liberal celebration. That no one wants to really know the person they've so valiantly defended, even when it meant they had to gloat and shit all over someone braver than they'd be if given the occasion. Now cue the faceless comment squad invasion. Cue those fuckers crawling out the woodwork to come analyze the way you wore your hair and what you wear. Like your appearance waives your rights, or that somehow you're the reason for your situation. Somehow they've decided you should bear responsibility for what such monstrous men insist on doing. Somehow they're deluded by the empty, hypocritical, and useless fucking platitudes that bastard keeps on spewing. And I think it's very telling that the best of their excuses when they try to come and justify our president's abuses is a hearty butt Trump. In which case I'll remind you that you never saw the news attempt to sell us Donald Trump like he was morally upstanding or a decent human. But when Joe says something bigoted or ogles someone's little kid, CNN says, isn't this refreshing? Biden's like a mix of JFK and FDR with all the finer parts of Harry Truman. Christ, I know that they don't think that we're the brightest, but at least pretend we got a couple lumens. Ask yourself if you have ever questioned what they fed you, or do you just shut your eyes and then consume it? And now ask yourself if you ate every one of Biden's lies under guise of harm reduction and the promise of a slight improvement. And now imagine long ago that Biden chose to show you who he really was by traumatizing you for his amusement. Now imagine that you watched him touch a Bible with those filthy hands, and then assume the power of the highest seat in all the land, of knowing your attacker wields a global coalition born of 3-letter agencies who'll make a life's mission out of trying to discredit you through lies, damn lies, and collusion. Big tech is never gonna separate from our surveillance state. Fuck's sakes, they're just a breath away from total fusion. So there will come a time where even if you see the light, your voice will never reach the sky through all the bots and all the noise pollution. So trust us when we tell you that the masking of abuses is perhaps this country's oldest institution. And I know nothing nobler than facing it in honor of the truth when you know that the people holding power have been neutralizing truth since there was wet ink on the Constitution. So know that Tara's truth is something crucial to the movement. And if you see yourself a partner to the revolution, help this country see through all the baseless propaganda through the crux of Joe's illusions. And recognize that Tara Reade gave everything she had so she could tell us what the truth is. Recognize the decent thing to do when someone bears their soul and shows their bruises is not to ask for context or offer up your own solutions. Your job is just to listen with an honest mind and put yourself on Tara's side a moment so you understand the path she chooses. That there is no instant fame worth the dragging of your name. And if that's what you think, you've a lot to learn about the kind of facts the mob can handle and the kind that it refuses. You've a lot to learn about the news and all its many uses. Guess you've yet to learn the truth the news will serve as fruit from which they've squeezed out all the juices. And we all eat the husk and just pretend it's full of nutrients and isn't really useless. But the jaws of our ability to yield accountability are absolutely toothless. So don't you kid yourself that any lips are being loosened. They won't ever tell us where the bodies are or show us where the proof is. It's on you to recognize the lechery our president so regularly oozes. It's on you to muster up some honesty and ask yourself how Biden won your trust, but it's America that loses. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises.
I do not need to turn the mics on. The mics are already on. Yay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We're getting a hi, everybody. Nice. That's a good question, Cynic. Where the fuck is everybody? But that's the only people that matter are here. Yeah, I was wondering if Charlie Mack was going to make it good. Good to see you here already, Charlie.
Ooh, raise your hand if you just burned your mustache a little bit.
That's what happens when you have facial hair
Some
and
awesome,
smoking from the apple.
awesome smells going on at Camp David tonight, folks.
What is happening with our restream chat? That does not look. Something has stopped. Check something. What? Oh no, our chat window is not working. Okay, well I can put up chats over here, so that's fine. That's cool. Restream chat says error has occurred. Yeah, check that embed settings. Great. Not now.
I have my mustache connected to Restream, so when it gets burned, Restream lets you know.
Jesse burned the Restream chat.
Flags. My mustache flagged us on Restream.
It worked the other day. That's okay. I can put one of these up right there, so we're good. Hi. So this is American Tradition, and we're back on INN, everybody. It's been 12 days, I believe, since our spanking.
It has.
Thanks to Indian Reef. I'll tell you what had happened was, Jimmy Dore went on the Misty Winston show on radio, and Reef copied it live and recorded it, and immediately was like, maybe I should put that out on INN, and he did. And YouTube did not likey. No likey, YouTube. So they put us in the penalty box. We were talking about a certain medication that I think that they don't like. It could have been that, or it could have been a certain presidential candidate that they don't like. Oh, Colin, play Sade or else. Oh boy. That's a $2 super chat from Mr. INN Colin Radix Carter. Watch him tomorrow night on INN News. And also listen to him tomorrow night on the Misty Winston show. He's also going on Misty's radio show tomorrow night. He'll be doing an hour. Yes, Reef has scratched the day's tally into his cell wall, all 12 of them. That's right. And he's whistling. and nobody knows the trouble I've seen, right? So this is.
You guys should have done like Andrew Tate style updates from quarantine.
God, like
day 5. A quarter inch of beard hair has grown.
The pacing across the cell. Holy shit. Wow, that's great. So, yeah, everybody. Jesse has got a ton of songs and things packed ready to go. And I'm not going to do a whole lot talking because we want to get more material in. Mm-hmm. It's been a year. Can you believe it's been a year of doing this show? Right.
I know. That's what I realized. It's a year of American tradition, and next week is the 1-year anniversary of me putting out the virus. Or I'm sorry, the 3-year anniversary of the virus. So 3 years since I've started doing what now I'm 11 albums in. I guess 12 if you count the doo-wop record. So 12 albums in the past 3 years. So I feel a little better about how long it's taken me to write material for this next one. Because it's been I put out the last one in March. It feels like it's been an eternity. Like for me, a couple months without anything new. Like I've written some lyrics, but I haven't like completed a song or a poem or what have you. And that feels bizarre, but it's coming. I'm just work and life and
then it pours out of you. It also then just like starts pouring out of you. Like you haven't
once it does, then I won't be able to stop. Then it's going to be, a couple of weeks of.
But I know you, like you haven't written it, but you've been formulating it in your head kind of a little bit, maybe like, and then all of a sudden you're in that mode and then boom, it just comes flowing out in a day. And you're just like, and everyone's like, how the fuck did that happen?
You know what's funny? There's a song I'm working on right now, and dare I say it's kind of uplifting. And I want a particular vibe for this song that is in the same vein as like You Can't Always Get What You Want by Rolling Stones. And so I was trying to think of other songs that have that same vibe. And Harmony Hall by Vampire Weekend is one of them. It's got the up piano, some little percussion doing its thing. No choir, but it feels like a choir could happen. And then Praise You by Fatboy Slim. Same kind of FGC, uplifting, fast-moving kind of thing. I don't want to stray into such a cheesy territory that I get into like Hanging Around by Counting Crows. We're not going to break it down and like stomp clap. There will be no whistle break. But I'm kind of analyzing what those songs have in common, the chords they use, and then trying to figure out what's left that I can make a progression that doesn't tread on any of those, that still is in that vibe. I'm like trying to surgically craft this vibe. So I'm selecting songs that fit it, and I've made a Spotify playlist called, You Know That New Sound You're Looking For? Well, listen to this. Hey, Marvin, I'm adding songs to it bit by bit.
It's your cousin, Marvin Berry. See, you have to be old enough to really be a Back to the Future fan, and that means that you're at least Gen X to understand that reference that fast.
Uh-huh.
But that was like the thing for a while. I mean,
Jesse's Mick Jagger impression.
I mean, is Johnny B. Good coming next? Because that's what I'm expecting.
Oh, but mad at you.
That's what I'm expecting at that point. Like. and how he does the Jimi Hendrix with the guitar behind the head.
Yep.
Dude, that's Michael J. Fox at his absolute best. That is one of his all-time best fucking
for
roles
sure
ever. I love that guy. Brad, the Snow Himbo is here. Angry Balls. Yep. What's up, Angry Balls?
Fun bit of trivia.
Funky Monkey.
Favorite Stones album is their Satanic Majesty's Request, and it's not even close.
Sure.
I love the sound of a big band with no producer just going apeshit in a studio and no one around to tell them to stop. And it's just this chaotic clusterfuck with a few really great little nuggets of unpolished songs in it. Yep. But it's so chaos. It's so good.
All right. So Jesse's going to play a bunch of songs and I'm going to turn off my mic and he's going to do like a whole little thing. And when he wants to stop, he'll stop and we'll talk. And he's going to probably need some drinks because I know how he hydrates and shit.
Essentially it. I got my moonshine.
Nice.
And
the mason jar too.
After 10 p.m. So I've got my monster ready to go.
It's very North Carolina. Very, very mason jarry. I'm very much down with that. All right.
Castro, you I don't even need you up in my business right now.
Oh boy. Yep.
Okay.
Castro last time
showed your ass.
He sure did.
No pun intended.
Castro went only cats. I mean So yeah, that was fun. All right, so let me turn off the restream thing again there, so that while you're playing, we don't have that. And woohoo! All right, awesome, dude. The mobile looks so good. Literally. Oh, come on, Cynic. Literally.
I get it. All right, we're gonna warm up into Town Hall. I was gonna kick it off with Town Hall, just for the sake of continuity. In that, from a timeline perspective, Town Hall was obviously the first song I put up on Twitter, the song that kind of started everything. But
yeah, that's what you performed at March for Medicare for All 2 years ago, right?
No, I did
something.
I did Redpilled. Trying to remember what all I played there. Redpilled, Sunday Morning. I did Conviction, and I did my Palestine piece. Misty has a few videos of that I've been trying to bug her into uploading, but it's one of those cases where they're massive videos on a cell phone, and it's not the easiest thing to get those. But she's got never before seen footage. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to run through. I mean, obviously if anyone has something that they want to hear, I'll try to fit it in. Let me know. But I just kind of went through, if I was making a greatest hits playlist, what would I have on it? And this is definitely one. This song came together super fast while I was boiling water for some macaroni for my kid. I made this beat and I recorded this sample and started writing lyrics. This is Sunday Morning 40. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. You said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. See, Nancy's gonna cut you a check too late.
2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of those dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family, slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward in 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and a cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. No. Wait. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal land. The world is not the same. You said you waited for warning, but the warning never came. To shine a light in my face. You said you waited for warning, but the warning never. And that's Sunday Morning 40. Indy, I think you're muted, bud.
No, that was good. I meant to, but yeah, Sunday morning number 40, by the way, is we start every, how do we miss that? With Sunday morning number 40? Just because it's Sunday and I love doing the Nancy Pelosi, good morning, Sunday morning. That's just so good.
Watching her reboot talking to George Stephanopoulos was just the funniest thing, just this hard reset.
Oh, with the blinking and everything. Like yep. somebody had to reboot the machine.
Yep.
Brutal.
All right.
What we got?
We're warmed up. Let's do it. So yeah, Town Hall. That was the first one, man. That was the song. I put that up and I all of a sudden was like, let's see what people think of this. Let's see if people get on board for, this was a 7 minute political song. And people did. And that, all of a sudden I had Twitter friends that thought the way I did and like agreed with me on stuff. And it was just the most reassuring, like, okay, well, what do I want to do next? And then song after song started happening and here we are. Yeah, so this is what kicked off. And it's funny now because I've mentioned it was a very short pipeline from, hey, they're going to screw over Bernie Sanders. We need to write in Bernie to Shepherd of Hopes. It was only a couple of years and, a handful of records. But that was me realizing, okay, they're going to push Joe Biden on us. That's what we're going to be force fed. And, at the time I was prepared to write in Bernie. I ended up, voting third party because once Bernie so quickly caved and all the My Friend Joe shit, I couldn't stomach it anymore.
Yep.
But
I voted for Howie and I didn't want to, but he was the most qualified third party candidate actually that was on a line on the ballot that I didn't have to write in. So I voted green, and I don't regret it. I got to actually meet Howie afterwards, which was cool, but Howie's a neolib effectively. He's just a kinder, gentler neolib. That's all.
Yep. Very true. All right. Here's to the neolibs. This is Town Hall.
Woo.
In these days of global disaster, all the money disappears with the fame. I'll say what I want, then burn my masters. And I suggest you do the same. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. I'm so sick of the waiting now. Laying down.
Alright, I won't name names, so we won't call legal. We'll call him Bo Jiden. He killed Glass-Steagall. He's on the trail, off the rails, profits over people, but I won't call him a Nazi because I haven't seen his eagle. But I have seen his equal, and he just left the White House. I've seen his equal, and she lost the fight twice now. I've seen the evil of a man who'd shake the hands of workers, knowing they've been slaving for a feeble wage and little purpose, all to keep afloat his bloated lifestyle. All to keep us focused on our phones in the meanwhile. Now if I'm a broken record, this has been a time trial, but I would not go quietly into the future I'm supposed to hand to my child. I will not politely hold my tongue when I see voters in the web of suppression. So I'm about to burn the list of things we shouldn't mention. Alzheimer's causes bouts of both confusion and aggression. It causes sentences that fall apart and paper-thin patience. Well, I have not spent the past 4 years practicing critiques only to need them for the next administration. And part of me would love to vote for Trump to really stuff you Biden diatribe junkies who would tie us to a chair to watch him push out Bernie Sanders. Say he needs to just accept a loss, have your little celebration. Buddy, I don't know about you, but I have too much love for this misguided nation. I can't take another president who treats the world like he's a wealthy tourist, just too good to talk to all us Haitians. My only choice should not have to be trading one president who chews at the Achilles heel of race relation, who plays up all our prejudices, fears, and darkest motivations, for one who hands us over to the corporations like we've all been sex trafficked. And I wish that was exaggeration, but it's part nightmare, part fascination. It's mostly fascists saying we're a cushion generation, while they got the funding made to lift you out your station, while you miss your shift at your third job because you can't afford your medication. Now the pain of your mobility is tied into the need to keep afloat and keep your family just this side of devastation. And here's the catch to immunization. You might get to have a say in what they give your baby, but in 20 years your baby better be prepared to pay right through the nose to be inoculated. So don't you be surprised when all your insulin is confiscated, because someone found a buyer who's prepared to hike the price up even higher. And if you land in a coma just as well, you're out the conversation. You're not around to stage a demonstration. You're not around to protest human rights being eliminated. You're not around to protest all these voters being silenced and intimidated. Maybe you can hear it in my intonation, that one man's revolution is another's renovation. One hand better wash the other or it's amputated. God, I hate to be so black and white, but Gray has led us straight into the mist and now the lamp is faded. And I don't think that we are very long before the night is falling, quicker than anticipated. Quicker than the stocks crashed, quicker than your IRA was withered and emaciated. So why obey the men who solved a crisis that they orchestrated? Why are we so pleased to see a corpse get up and speak that we ignore the way the corpse debated? That he spoke in fragmented misinformation, that he tried to make an honest man's mistake out of a fabrication, or that all the major networks eat it up and tolerate it. So whose side are they on if they can point it out in Trump but act like they don't see it in the man they want to call our savior? Who keeps paying you to do such sick, dishonest labor? Oh shit, we do? No shit, me too. Everything you buy will find a way to own or eat you. Companies that feed you fund agendas to defeat you. Strip your wits away, rip your wick away, ultimately put you in a place to have to loot to feed your kid today, then detain and beat you. Oh, it's such an obvious process not see-through. At least not without a UV light. This year we'll purge our liberties with zero end in sight. So if you can't cast a vote that gives you hope about our plight, if you pick up the pen but in your heart it isn't right, think about the millions going hungry every night. And have the guts to write in Bernie, or have the guts to fight. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down.
down, laying down. Hear my words, there's no time to spare. We killed democracy, it's rotting in the square, and with its last breath it cursed the very air with the toxic miasma of class warfare. Convulsions were brief, it seized for a minute, then it ceased to fidget. It was just deep sleep in a city-wide gibbet. A lot of sweet nothings like the rations we were given. A film crew followed them into the city limits to document the distribution. A little piece of human interest in the mass confusion. Some nice shots of a clean white van. Neighbors helping neighbors with their clean white hands. Never mind the boxes being empty like the cans. Never mind a photo op that didn't feed a single man. And this is nothing you could blame on one single man or his supporting an immoral horde of sycophants. We set the stage, we wrote the play, we gave the man a script, we highlighted every line he had to say. We're only in this boat because we chose to sail away. We never poured out the decay, we let it spread. And then we watched the nation warp into the noxious dictatorship it is today. We made conditions perfect. It's almost like we want it this way. No, hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Hear my words, but don't breathe the air. You and I needn't speak to share. I'm so sick of the waiting now. I feel sick, so I'm laying down. Laying down. And that's Town Hall.
Dude, you got cooking and started spitting in the middle of that. Damn. That was so fucking tight. That was really tight, my man. I gotta say. I was like, wow.
Oh man.
Let me fix
It's so weird to get to a line that I used to say so like have the guts to write in Bernie. I said that with every bit of me. And now I look at that line and I'm just like, oh my God, I have to say that. It's so, all of a sudden I'm just so cringy. I'm like, well, we all were, you know, if I had a nickel for every person who that was their jumping off point. That was, you know, if it wasn't the getting shafted by Obama, it was having your last bit of faith tied up in Bernie Sanders and him fucking throwing it back in your face. Sheepdogging piece of shit.
And then you had other ones that then transferred it to the squad, acted like that never happened, transferred it to the squad, then acted like they didn't do exactly what they did for the last 2+ years. 3 years, gaslighting and doing nothing.
And we don't, bless our hearts, man, we don't learn that lesson because people that I thought like saw past Nina this last time, they were like, she's just telling me what I want to hear. All of a sudden they're like, man, did you see what RFK said the other day? He's really speaking truth to power. I'm like, God damn it, again with this shit. Like, seriously.
I'm so there. Like, you know, there is no one savior that's going to fix this. And anyone running for president is going to be heavily compromised, is going to be heavily corporatized, or they're not going to be allowed anywhere near anything of power.
Exactly.
And so therefore, what are you cheering for? You're just cheering for the monster that you like best? I mean, it's like...
There you go, right there.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty much it.
Like, I don't like any of them. Thanks, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, and there is nothing any one of them can say or do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Gregory Walker over on the Rockford. Well, Jesse, if you don't trust the CIA or our institutions, then who do you trust? Hey, man, Gregory Walker, dude.
Oh, man. Oh, I love you, dude.
That's perfect. Perfect timing on that one. What do you trust? I believe Jesse shared that today on Twitter, so that was absolutely perfect timing. That was great. All right.
Oh, man.
Yes, I do think RFK would free Assange, but he's not going to be allowed anywhere near a
if he was
Democratic nomination.
if he was in a position of power, yes, I think he would do a few good things. But
he might
again,
say
it's
something
getting there, you know.
Maybe say something on a debate stage, only they're not going to have a debate because they're not going to have a primary. So he's either going to have to run as independent and garner enough votes to get himself on a independent stage, if they even have a debate between the presidential. But if it's going to be Trump and Biden, I don't think either one of them wants the debate.
No.
Yeah, RFK is just Tulsi again. Amen, Crab. He is Tulsi 2.0. He will cave. They all do cave. Yep. All right.
Okay. All right. This is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna leapfrog at albums a little bit here, but
yay.
I got going on Town Hall, and I want to keep it going, and I'm really excited to see what this is like acoustic. So bear with me. That said, we're gonna just get a little one of these.
I'm gonna try adding scene.
I mixed the beat a little too bright on this song, and the Bluetooth speaker that I listen to stuff out of, if I have this song at full volume, when the drums kick in, it turns the speaker off every time. It shuts the speaker off because it's just a little too much for it to handle.
All right. So your camera froze.
It makes me super happy when you look on your like Spotify artist stats, you can see if people have your song on a playlist. And someone had this song on a playlist called like Good Things or something like that. I didn't know who it was, but it made my day. It turns out it's Crab. It's Crab's playlist. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Crab's got some great stuff on Spotify too, by the way. BigMadCrab.
He does. Oh my gosh. For those of you who don't listen to Crab's music, like get up in there because he and I are about to be doing some stuff together. And
FUUSA. FUUSA is so good, dude. Like I find myself humming it. And Jesse, we've said this many times. Like if you think of the movie High Fidelity, and the
like my favorite movie.
The skate kids that John Cusack like brings in, and Jack Black.
It's really fucking good.
It's really fucking good. And that's how I felt when I first time I heard Crab stuff. I was like, wow, this is really good. Shit, man. Wow. All right, he's got talent. He's got chops. Let's do this. Yeah, we're giving Crab props. You can cap this later. You can clip this later and put it up and put it on your reel, bro.
Shut your mouth and get your flowers.
Nice.
Land of the free, and you'll know us by the trail of dead. It's just one more world war to complete the set. When you live by the pike, you die by the pith. You die wide-eyed, still pleading the fifth, or crying divine epithets in pathetic attempts at defense. All empathetic for those on your side of the fence. Well, I'll gladly put you and your legacy into an alternate tense. Faltering senses and altered events. Like hunted ain't a hearse, it's a reaper stretch. Oh, how sweet, she said. Bunch of hordes in the street like it's Evil Dead. Where the thin blue line meets razor's edge, and where the corporate ladder ascends to a steel-toed boot that awaits on the ledge. You'll be looking at fresh at your boss's request till it stops each finger and watches you fall to your death and drown in an ocean of debt. Gone with the fodder who gathered to honor the patient left, who purity tested themselves into sections step by step till the next election. It's just one them and the sound of the well-read theorized breath. Well, that's harm reduction for the lowly cost of you holding your nose and just openly buying the theft. Maybe it's all in the flick of the pen. Maybe we're all one unmarked van from a trip to the pen, being guarded by pigs who exist on a diet of dying breaths of much worthier men. Honey, heaven's expecting you. Just don't get too hung up on who they let in. Just look up at the shine of the pearly gates. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the paint. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the water. Let in the milk, let in the honey, let in the caustic embrace of the Heavenly Father. Let is the flavor of passive perpetual slaughter. Let is the taste of us led to the ledge by the lure of the legend of expert consensus, and then beckon to stretch it just one step farther. And I hope all the folks who were boastfully gloating and toasting themselves as the heroes of COVID, for all boosting their boosters and doing their part, are now equally thrilled to be starstruck martyrs, laid in a government grave with anonymous markers, like you're back from the carvers and off to the splicer. You're the very first wave to be slain in the war against Pfizer, in the 100 years war against Pfizer. They are thinning the crowd that is striking right now to bleed adequate pay from those inhuman misers, who all sit in their office and designate coffins to people regarded as nothing but profit for Kaiser. Still, the Dems want you nicer. The Dems want you softer. Dems want you kinder. Yeah, they all want you graciously starving in silence. You will speak when you're spoken to. Rest of the time, you and all of us peasants are merely depressing statistics neglected in Congress's binders. All bled, bone dried, and fed to the grinder. Our headstones line each step as reminders. It's a lesson in object permanence learned in the furnace by workers consigned to the fire. Workers bled, bone dry, then fed by the fed to the grinder. See, the fed went straight to your head. Mind what you hide, and your sighs unsaid, and your eyes turn blind to the signs unread. Flag bright red, so you let it in bed. You let it inside, you'll see that it's fed. Never you mind that it grinds your wealth into bread for itself, and it bleeds you dry, then it dines on the dead. See, the fed went straight to your head. Mind what you hide, and your sighs unsaid, and your eyes turn blind to the signs unread. Flag bright red, so you let it in bed. You let it inside, you'll see that it's fed. Never you mind that it grinds your wealth into bread for itself, then it bleeds you dry, then it dines on the dead. Here's where our leaders would see us all led. Here's where our leaders would see us all led. Here's where our leaders would see us all led. Here's where our leaders would see us all led.
Hey, do me a favor, check your mic settings and make sure that your computer's picking up the right mic and not your earbuds. It sounds like it is based on where you put your mic down, but Cynic said that it sounded a little weird, so I was just checking.
Let's see.
Mandy Jones says, love you, Jesse. Love you too, Mandy. All right, let me go back to...
Yeah, looks right.
Jesse playing, that's me down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks right. Not that it hasn't lied to me before, but it looks okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. No, you're good. You're good. It sounded fine to me. But cool. Yeah, that legit that, by the way, was buying the theft. That was off of everybody who disagrees with you is an extremist. If you let me know what's next, I can actually bring up lyrics.
Let's do Powerless.
Nice.
I've done Powerless in a minute.
I know we're Powerless. I know how to find Powerless. There it is, a single. That works. About it.
It just dawned on me how long it's been since I've played Powerless, which is bizarre.
That's fine.
Switching back to the nylon, these first couple songs I was using my my guitar from when I was 10 that recently came back into my possession. But steel strings still just feel wrong. We're going back to nylon. this guitar feels giant now. It's so bizarre. I'm like, what is all this?
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's like the Ricky Bobby.
So here's just a quick size comparison. Here's the guitar I'm using now, and here's the guitar I used for the first couple songs. It's a little guy. It's just a little fella.
It's almost like a ukulele.
But not the kind of fellow that supports Nazis and gets you banned on Twitter.
Oh, goodness, no. Oh, NAFO. Freaking clowns.
Okay.
I hear myself if coming from your earphones.
I'll scoot the mic away a little.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's only when I talk and you're close, so don't worry about it. It's not bad. When
all
you're
right.
playing, that's what matters. So
let's fuck up some Powerless. All right, here we go. Oh, we have fun here.
They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains and bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph R. Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed, clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren. Say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights. Forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you think you're powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near. And all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And maybe one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, 'cause you aren't. Because we aren't.
You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and guards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, 'cause you aren't, because we aren't.
And that's Powerless.
Tight, dude. Word for word, just what a pro! What a pro! Love it, so good. Yeah, this has been killer so far already, and we've got tons more to go, everybody. So strap in.
All right. Let's let chat choose. Do you guys want The Great Experiment or Redpilled next?
Wow. Those are like two of my all-time favorites, but I personally go Redpilled. That's like my theme song, kinda.
That's two.
So there's Crab.
Two.
Crab's going Redpilled.
All right.
We got Ghost Star.
Boosh.
We got
We
Fizzy
got it.
Pop. Fizzy Pop, thank you. By the way, we got a $2.99 super sticker for the Fizzy Pop slippers. Thank you. Woo. All right, everybody's going Redpilled. All right.
So I think I tell this story every time I play this song, but just for anyone that doesn't know, the fun little trivia here. Originally, Redpilled stopped after the guy in the garage in the car bit. It ended, it was a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats, and then that was it. But I kept hearing in my head this very classic Ringo Starr, da-da-da-da, boom, and then like little slide solo, and I kept going like hearing that in my head. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go full Beatles, and then I wrote maybe my favorite part of the song after that. So originally, yeah, it was half the length and didn't have any of that fun stuff. Which honestly, that solo is just this guitar with a little effect on it. Using my lighter as a slide.
That's great.
Because I couldn't find my slide at the time. I was like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna use the lighter. We'll do it live. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Okay, we're doing it live." That's awesome.
Right.
Boosh and or cacao. Yeah, that's right. Combo. That's right. Crab says a combo, which is also possible.
Speaking of not being able to find essential bits of guitar equipment, no idea where my capo is, so that's why Sunday morning was a little lower, and that's why Redpilled's going to be a little lower tonight, which works because I still don't have my voice back 100% from some bronchial horse shit last week. So yeah, it was after the last American Tradition, actually after the Storytime one. I woke up the next morning and my voice was just gone. Like I had access to a whole bunch of lows that I didn't usually have, which was cool. But everything else was just poof. So it's just coming back. So yeah, let's fuck up some Redpilled.
Let's do it.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way.
I'll get to the end of some 4-minute track, and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? And so I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter. The tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry, close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who's up in the front with a tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. See, it's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats. I think I liked it better being blind when I couldn't read between the lines. I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. And I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. See, ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastening. But maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at this nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And I wish that I could tell myself nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. Fuck, I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. I wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. I wish I had some better lessons when I had to answer questions on the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I might be missing from the messaging. I'm trying to find the reasoning to let 500,000 people need an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Your hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. Like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening. Sometimes I think I miss being blind when I couldn't read between the lines. Couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. Speaking of dry.
So good. I mean, I'm streaming along. I got the lighter lit up, and
the first time I ever tried to play that song live was on Misty's show she used to do with Jesse Jett, Facts on the Ground.
Oh, sure.
And it was really soon after, and I was so focused on getting the lyrics all straight and getting the chords right, I didn't think of like, can I get through this song? The answer was no. And I got to the wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny, and I just started bawling in the middle of it. And I had to try to just suck it up and like keep it going. But you could go back and like my face gets all red and I just start like ugly crying my way through the end of this song. It was just, it was rough.
All right, we got some late entries. We got Mona. We got Anthony Malecki here in chat. Mona!
Anthony, what's up, fam?
What is up? Yeah, we're just rocking out. Jesse's doing a greatest hits. And we're doing a little bit of there's going to be some spoken word. We've been doing a bunch of music. And this has been a lot of fun already. And we've got more to go. So stay tuned. We got a bunch more.
All right, I'm thinking squeeze 2 more songs in and then do some spoken word. I'm just going to tune this up a little bit.
Everybody should be sharing this stream somewhere. Share it to Twitter, share it to Facebook, share it to Substack notes. Am I peeking out? Is that what's happening? I think you're peeking out a little bit, maybe.
I beg your pardon.
You redlined.
Turn this down a little bit.
That's better. I turned you down just a hair. I just noticed you were hitting all the way at the top of the reds, and that's not good. I hear that scratchiness in there. I don't know where that's coming from. It's not coming from my side. Cynic knows. She knows. She's got the ear. Are you able to play the Grift on guitar? The song? 17 minutes?
I am. That's, that's the co-op. Grift is actually what I'm playing after this.
Nice.
So I got 2 songs left, and Grift is the last one.
Beautiful.
This song, I never would have guessed people would like it like they did. Like, it probably gets requested more than anything else. And when I wrote it, I was like, this is going to be a just for Jesse kind of song, but it wasn't. So that was really nice. So this is Militia Intent.
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. No, I play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? Man, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me, 'cause I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory, and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Oh, Hillary, I'll see you there.
No, you can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. No, I play civil when you wouldn't listen to 100,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, I play civil when all these dead won't make you listen.
Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats, second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists, and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust and there's just moral justice after that, I would hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. Just so I could rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I can sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. 'Cause as long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. See, I could deal with a little ash. I could feel like a little of the old me burn with the bad and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. They feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them. You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. And that's Militia Intent.
Militia Intent. That's what that is. Everybody knows what that is. So good.
All right. The Grift. Okay, here we go.
I'm getting...
La da 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 Last stand, I came to deliver. Been called a Clinton operative, a Russian, and a grifter. By libs awash in student debt and proud to be an intern. Sucking up to pigs who'll get a tax cut in the midterms. You cut the ties but never heal the wrist burns. Capitalist shackles wrap and penetrate like ringworms around the necks of those whose deaths will not affect the king's purse or the coffers of the company the king serves, who manufacture mandated tinctures. Their safety data hanging from a fixture, half a mile skyward, dangling from the rafters. My grift is sobbing till I'm cackling with laughter. I guess I would have made a decent actor. I'd be great at crying on command until they cut plus 40 minutes after. When the director waves a hand, it ain't a rap, it's now a legal matter. Sugar, my grift is weeping on a mic until I'm hacking up airstrike verses like it's bombs away and batter up. Swinging on these bigots, they keep killing us to fatten up. Kill the switch, eat the rich, I think they're finally fat enough. Just grab your knife and fork, the world is yours, just say you had enough. And if you're humpy, you can go ahead and laugh it up. And tell me how the most important vote I'll ever cast is like the choosing of a bus, in that it might not take you anywhere you want, but no one can deny the fact the bus is now no longer where it was, and that's the kind of progress I should celebrate and trust. Spoken like a kid who never took a bus. Spoken like some piece of shit that used some cash to mask their stink and truly thinks they're one of us. Spoken like a terminally unserious person who equates our cries for rights to mixed up orders from a server. It paints a privileged picture of what you would label urgent if the worst thing you've experienced in life has been the time your waiter accidentally brought a tray of gold flake scallop when you clearly ordered gold flaked urchin. And now you're storming out the restaurant and hopping in your Tesla. You got 80 pounds of Tony Fauci merchant. Rewind to a change won't make you wait such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. Rewind to chains won't make you wait in such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. No, it's best to place your bets on weaponizing the identity of every limp progressive claiming grassroots integrity. Policy's a slippery slope for all of its complexity, so flex your brave resistance with this Ilhan Omar NFT. It's numbered 1 of 723, and each depicts her valiantly championing a bill before she lays it at a donor's feet. And she can throw her hands up in the air with AOC and say, if only Nina Turner could have voted present too, that's why we need another seat. We need some more progressives we elect to only tweet, who live to serve Humana, and their label of elective slapped on every patient's gravest needs. And every station plays the theme that medical professionals agree on the effectiveness and safety of injections authorized for this emergency. And in purely unrelated news, the profits of the ones who manufacture vaccines just increased by nearly 36 billion with a fucking B. Christ, sometimes it feels like we're the only ones that see. Sometimes it feels like all of us are lost at sea. And every time we think we see an island on the tip of the horizon, it turns out to be another measure making sure we're kept in the watchful eye of murderous authority. So I guess my grift is crying for the future they denied us, where the people who would buy us are a mockable minority. And we are more than genomes under warranty. We are more than serfs in constant quarantine. If I had a single breath left, I'd let the chorus scream that I denounce our leaders claiming none for all and more for me. None for all and more for me. None for all and more for me. Rewind to a chance will make you wait such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. Oh, rewind to a chance will make you wait such a long line. Life's not just a way to waste your free time. Air that's fit to breathe is not a free ride. Free ride. Oh, and that's the grift, folks.
So sweet. I've been called a Republican and a grifter, right? I mean, it's...
Oh, all right. On that note, we're switching to spoken word.
Called a Clinton operative, a Russian and a grifter, actually.
Diverting vocal power over to spoken word thrusters.
Cool.
All right.
What do I queue up here? I got words.
To Perennial Edition. Not a Moment to Lose.
Okay.
Hyacinth. Let's kick it off with Hyacinth. Ooh. It's hot in here. Hang on.
Woo! Yes, it is. Woo. Yeah, ladies. You're getting the show. All right. Let me go to presenter. How does that look? Looks good.
Okay. Almost burned through all my moonshine. All right. Day, bow, bow.
Ooh, bo, bo.
Oh, yeah. This is fun. Once again, this is one I have not done in a hot second. I think I was just telling you earlier, or reminding you of when I read this at the M4A event in Columbus a couple years back, that I got to the part about the 40% of police domestic abuse statistic, and there's like one state trooper that patrolled the whole grounds, and he was literally standing right behind me at that line, and I looked up, and like Misty and a few of the other people were standing there and watching, and they had this look like waiting to see if I just got like clubbed upside the head from behind. So
No.
yep, but live to tell.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. It was exactly that. Okay. Yeah, Hyacinth. Let's do this. This is one of those spoken word pieces that was fun to come back to when I did Perennial Edition, because post Elon Twitter takeover, any of the Elon stuff just hits differently, and this piece is no exception. So this is Hyacinth. What more you have to give? You don't call, you don't write. How is that not to imply that you think what I'm doing must be right? Think that I'm doing all right. You don't mind giving up your rights. Don't mind seeing your leaders aligned with the violent right. Don't mind carrying water to pour on the altar where we plan to sacrifice all of your pensions in one of our nameless imperial rights that renders the rioters silent and pries every rhyme by its root in their heads, that quiets the storm by denying them platforms to buy up some time for the task force, crafting a law to detain them and mace them if they try to ask for their water and bread. Mind you, the bread looks like moss off a boulder from all of the mold, and the water is rusted and red. As bitter as all of the blood you hear pounding when you try to block out the sounds as you're lying in bed. Mind you, the bed is a spot on the floor, and there's really no more to be said. But you don't call, you don't write. If you knew better, there'd be mountains of letters outside, stacked to the sky, blocking the sun out, blocking my drive. You would slow the flow of my campaign funds down, my reputation in the ground by sundown. Good thing I got MSNBC on my PR rundown. To put you at ease, maybe give you a nice little neo-lib rubdown, and then blare my redemption from Breitbart to Cumtown. Flood all your free speech channels with a bunch of raw shit and shut the pumps down. Then usher out a couple dozen sock accounts to pop up in your mentions with their toxins stocked and talons out, here to help defend a man's dementia with the passions of a talent scout, selling you their bullshit while they're drooling half a gallon down the hat. They'll pull a rabbit out. Verbally, they'll strap you down, slap you with a finely crafted soundbite from the squad that you could try to feed your family with, or play back for the officers arriving to evict you in the hopes that they won't snatch you out. But big surprise, their clubs are out and masks are down, impolitely asking you to pack a little faster now, just to please the bastard with the fascist hats and badge that makes him think he's someone actually of matter, not an actor playing overseer at the sick behest of benefactors who will starve as many families as it takes to make their profits fatter.
And then when they tell those loyal cops their kids are on the chopping block to sate their daily greed and need to satisfy their hungry stock, statistically, 2/5 of these are all too pleased because it just means that they can beat their spouses without all those little weak attempts to make them stop. I was watching TV, screaming, make it stop. Screaming at that cable feed of double talk. Screaming at the Daily Razor shaving down our labor laws. Screaming at the left like they can wave a wand and change it all. Screaming at the leaders we gave time and trust and money to who played us all. We the people, tattered rags and paper dolls. Screaming at our debt and at these overfed pigs who create it all. Trying to teach the ways of the world to my son like I don't hate it all. Stone soup, cops came and ate it all. Waters for the homeless, cops are gonna break them all. Education budget, cops are gonna take it all. Send your kids to prison, think about the time you'll save us all. Years later, fucking goddamn it. Years later, you'll be lucky if you're paid at all. Years later, you'll be wired to a grid that turns your brain's electric current to a resource they can strip, and we'll all be mining Bitcoin 80 hours at a clip. Too tired for the drive home, it ain't worth the trip, because it hurts to be reminded that you never see your kid. And then every time they fire up the hub and plug you in, their memory recedes a little further till it blurs into the dim, until you can't recall your kin. Open up your eyes and you see Tesla on your skin. Earn a dime a day and owe them 20 for the mandatory membership to Tesla Gym. We're all one big happy family who neutralized your family at the gates when they tried to sneak a message in. Who taunts you with escape in their advertising messaging. Taunts you with the sounds of a child at play, a warm summer day, the things we can all sense slipping away because their frequency is lessening. You are working for a living in which you are only visiting. Working under safety laws that profit ends up pivoting, shifting into figures in which losing you is just the cost of maximizing profit in the world that we do business in. The world in which we fight to see the bright side, but always get the business end. And I've been here in wait since late '08 to witness this descent. Suck my soul away in little bits, a dime a day, but with a monthly cap of 50 cents. Because Tesla-funded studies show that overpaid employees don't know what to do with all the extra money because they're lazy and they're ignorant. But all that extra capital keeps innovation radical, and you can say that you were part of history in the making in the unacknowledged, patronizing, strictly honorary sense. Now we understand you may resent that Mr. Musk was heaven sent to take you on his back for his divine ascent. And just before he reached the palace gates above the firmament, he dropped you on the outer steps a month before retirement. Again, may we refer you to suggested ways of demonstrating gratitude to Mr. Musk that he was kind enough to let you feed his great Leviathan. Tesla-funded studies show that you amount to nothing in the hours you're not wired in. Hours you spend quietly denying that you let them in your head or let them walk potential buyers in. Mind you, all of this a mere month before retirement. And mind you, your retirement is waiting in the dirt that feeds the Hyacinth. Or maybe, if you're lucky, you can spend another year assisting researchers in biosynth. Now, mind you, that amounts to nothing more than torture, but they wipe your memory after every session, washing out all prior sense. Think of it as Mr. Musk absolving all your prior sins. Don't think of it as skinning you and fitting you with trial limbs. Think of it as Mr. Musk presenting you the opportunity to help America's elite achieve tighter skin, fuller lips, healthy eyes, smoother lids. Don't think of it as rape. Try to think of it as Mr. Musk assigning you a mate because America needs cattle. I mean, kids. Don't ask what Mr. Musk can do for you. Ask yourself if there is something more you have to give. Ask yourself what more you have to give. Ask yourself what more you have to give. Ask yourself what more you have to give. And that's Hyacinth.
You could have called that trigger warning dark and dystopian also. By the way.
No shit.
Right?
Oh God, that's so true.
That's great.
Oh man. Okay. So let's go to the co-op, if you will, my good sir, and over to Union Drip.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's yeah.
And you
a
know,
Union
again,
Drip.
like, you know what? Hey, Chris Smalls had a couple really good tweets last week. Doesn't mean shit to me. This is what I say. I am in no way swayed or dissuaded by you know, these broken clock moments, and nor should any of you be. Like,
it's really funny that you mentioned that,
once
because
someone showed you who they are, don't be like, well, he went to Cuba and he was talking about revolution, or he said he was disappointed in Joe Biden. Like, oh, fuck yourself. Like, get out of here.
well, it's really funny you should say that, because check this out. Our friend Matt from formerly ALU Kentucky found this and put it into the Hardlands Discord, and that is Chris Small's public speaking appearance fee, which is $10,000 to $20,000.
Tell me more.
Which is $10,000 to $20,000 per appearance, sir.
Oh, of course it is.
How you like me now?
Oh, I love it.
Wearing the BLM hat. Nice touch. I like that.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah,
All right.
Let's do it. Here we go. Union Drip.
That's a Union Drip.
Every time I tried to record this and get in close on the mic and do my creepy Joe Biden voice, I kept cracking myself up. It was freaking me out so bad. It took me a while, but okay. Union Drip. I only got a few more spoken word pieces in me, so, and I'm officially out of water. I came to be a. Sorry.
Gotta get Jess to hydrate. Refill.
Yeah, right. I came to be a prophet, but I'll settle for pariah. We filled the air with DDT and called the wind Mariah. We cheer on every victory in the war against Goliath. Watch them model Christian Smalls and pose him with Zendaya. They're gonna milk that Union Drip till the very last simp takes the very last sip, and when it's all wrung dry and it's not worth shit, then they'll leave it laying right where it is. You can watch them let it all drip into the ditch. Here's the sitch. Biden will invoke the witch of January 6 as a quick fix. Tell you that she's here to fill your bellies with some twigs and sticks, rocks, berries, and a capital brick. Concurrently, he's finger-wagging all of the Republicans while sucking their proverbial dicks. He'll fluff them up a couple of concessions in the flick of a bick. He just needs lights and a camera and prompter and someone to monitor that prompter who knows their shit. Because Joe's gonna open up the show with a few short words to be chanted by old white folks wearing old white cloaks who will march in a circle around some progressive political star who is purely a place to spit. But it's all good fun, and there's no harm done when the banks yell, "Cut!" and they're calling it quits. It's all Flint water gone under the bridge, out of sight, out of mind, and dissolved in the mist. And Joe'll only need a flick of the wrist, and then the throat of the movement is slit. It'll sputter and gurgle and choke for a bit, bleed out in a viral clip. And as the last of its life force flows to the floor, he'll say, "That's my idea of a Union Drip." See, the eyes are a glimpse of the soul. So it says a whole lot if they aren't exposed. And your message is branding you stamped on your clothes, and the media storm is wherever you go. Then you go meet Joe, and you laugh at his quips, and you shake his hand with a nice firm grip, and you cry good trouble through the loafers on your lips. Too true, that's a Union Drip. Now, who knew that the victory gift for your unionization's a DNC script? And it's nice and precise, like a sniper who's trying to cripple you right where you live. The target they lead is your wallet. They seek to dismember your hands so you can't feed your family or pick up your kids.
while they flatter themselves into orgasm, feigning respect for our unions, who wired our grids, who welded our ships, who died for our rights to not witness our children conscripted to 12-hour shifts in a mine from the time that they're 5, when they know damn well that the unions had thrived till they shattered its hip, showed up and handed out Pinkerton slips. And now it's as simple and status's symbol and making the star of the movement so bright that the movement itself is eclipsed. Now our mouths grow dusty and dry on the promise of union drips that trickle down out of a wealthy fist that is squeezing the heart of the working class hard as it can till it finally ruptures and splits, punctures a valve, and it laughs at the sound of the squish. The way that they laugh at the sight of us making a wage slave wish to a man on the cover of Vanity Fair saying, "Eat the rich." So this is for those who rely on commission or toil for tips, watching their bosses drink bottles of profit while all you get offered are jugs of their piss. If you seek out the soul of the movement or proof that the movement exists, try looking in the eyes of Chris. And when you find that you can't, then the answer is as simple as this. The movement is never one single face, and a drip is a leak to repair or replace. We won't eat the rich to suit expensive taste. We'll consume because survival's at stake. That's Union Drip.
Released on Election Day 2022, which was so good, man. I love that piece so much. You know, as someone who wrote, who helped to try to write the definitive book on the co-op and on Union Drip itself.
Yep. Dude, that Substack piece is fucking.
And I go back to it all the time. Like, dude, he's playing the playbook. And you said, who knew that your gift was a DNC script? I mean, it's exactly. The victory gift, your unionization's a DNC script, man. You could not say that any better.
Yeah. Tell you what, if you have something to plug real quick, I'm gonna grab some water because otherwise I'm gonna just be like Tom Waits on these last couple pieces.
Okay, well, no, grab water, please.
Okay, thanks.
Let's do it just indie. Hey, everybody! Wow. Okay, now it's the indie show. All right, so Jesse's bailing. I do now. That's funny. I should interview the empty chair, like I'm Clint Eastwood at the Republican convention or something. So tell me, Jesse, what do you think about this? He's gonna crack up when he comes back and he hears that later on. Thank you, Anthony. That it wasn't just me. That Colin and Reef also put in on that. Joe with the killer videos. I think that Crab contributed. I think Lucy put in on a little bit. Durden, we had a Chris Legion video that unfortunately is no longer up and live because he pulled down his channel. But that was such a good piece on things to avoid once you've already won the union vote. I mean, it was exactly what Chris needed to hear, and I guarantee you he never listened to it. Check out indienewsnetwork.substack.com. That's one of the things that one of the places where I'm trying to put more of Jesse's work. I think that Substack is actually a really good place for Jesse's work to be showcased because you can showcase writing, you can put spoken word and audio, you can put video up there, and it really is kind of a catch-all now. And it's really funny that we did the anti-Elon piece because Elon's got a whole bug up his ass about Substack and blocking Substack links that are happening. And it's okay. So it must be me because I hear it in my ears now. Why am I hearing an echo? That's so strange. Anyway, it's, we have, like Reef says, we have a playlist of ALU Chris Smalls on the channel. I do have a bunch more clips from that stream that we did when we went through the video, when we went through the piece on INN News back in September. And hey, here he comes. We're getting him back here. All right, cool. Yay.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody. I was just telling
Hi, everybody.
Substack and how I thought that Substack might be a good vehicle to put more of your stuff. Just the other day at indienews.substack.com, I did put Conviction Winter and Belmarsh as a printed piece because I thought that would be really cool for people at Substack that had never seen that before, considering it had just been World Press Freedom Day and I had just listened to it. And
that's one thing I've not tried, and I've kind of thought about, like, because for some people I think my stuff is a little too commentary and not maybe music enough, you know. Like maybe it would register better for people if it was just read this. It happens to rhyme, but here's, you know, here's the same political opinion I would do in an article that didn't rhyme.
Right.
But I've never tried that before, so I'd like to try. I'd like to take a few things that are especially long like that, like something like the Co-opt, and put all 17 minutes of that in a fucking Substack article.
Well, we can certainly do that, but you know, I'd love to see jessejett.substack.com get started, and we got Misty going.
Yeah.
So right now, Misty we've been putting up her daily guess whoever she's going to have on the radio show that night. I help her kind of gather links and put that out and then afterwards I go back and I edit the post so that it actually has a link to listen to that hour with that guest, both on Spotify or directly on the TNT radio, which is really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
I love having a platform to be able to do that, because tons of times, you know, people don't know where to find that stuff, and it's all mixed in.
Yep.
It's just one place to go and find it all.
Yeah.
All right. Hydrated.
So I got 3 pieces left here. And first one is gonna be off of and then the Sky Slam shut. We're doing Supersite.
Okay. I can find that pretty quickly. Supersite, Children of the Fuselage. Go.
Which I think we are just shy of 10K on the original video of this that we put up.
Solid.
Which is pretty awesome. Never got that Brockovich bump. I thought for sure we'd get her, but
he went to
you know what's fun?
Douche, but that's another story.
When you do music like this or spoken word like this, a really fun thing you can tell yourself when something doesn't get the traction you were hoping for, or someone ignores it. You can always be like, oh, it's just a little too dangerous for them. Guess I'm just too much of a bad boy for this platform. It's a really fun way to convince yourself that, like, you're just a little too extreme. That's your problem, is you're just too much of a truth teller.
Well, for a girl that gets invited on The View, I think that's
Yeah.
kind of accurate. She was literally on The View 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So anyway, see, thanks. You're helping build me up here, Andy.
See, I give credence to that. That actually does kind of.
You can Goodwill Hunting me if you
play
say
out.
it's not your fault like 5 or 6 times. I'll just break down. I'll just fucking.
It's not your fault.
Fuck you, man.
You
Shut up.
gotta do it in the Boston accent. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Fucking Duncan, it's not your fault.
How do you like them apples?
Yeah, that's right. I got a number. How do you like them apples? Oh, they're Brad, all
right.
your videos are gonna start hitting, man. You got
Yeah,
good
how could
stuff.
they not, dude? Brad's on fire.
Mm.
Shout out to Brad. Himbo. Again, Susan Sarandon, that was one. Like, she shared the song that I did with Awkward. And I'll always be grateful of her typing my name out. But yeah, I thought for sure that How Could You, Susan would have gotten her attention. But I also think, you know, there are so many people that unironically blame her for all kinds of ludicrous stuff. I could totally see her seeing that song and being like, there's another one of these fucking pricks, you know, and not realizing it was satire, because I don't talk about wildfires until a good ways into the song.
This gamer, what's up, gamer? I know you were here. Being quiet, creeping.
Yeah, I can't hold it against Susan Sarandon. So I love Susan Sarandon no matter what. So
Oh, 75. She looks dynamite, but I don't know. I have had a thing about the Millionaire Leftist Club for a while, and they really piss me off, honestly. they are the big club that they don't want us playing in, and not just us, but a lot of people that they consider to be peons, and they worship at the feet of Susan as well as Steve Donziger and others. And
Marianne.
It's all people who end up
the Marianne clan
going to Joe every time. Oh, and Democrats every time. You know, and begging for scraps. And oh yeah, by the way, they're all millionaires too. How about that?
That's also true. All right. Yeah, this is obviously off of and then the Sky Slam shut, which it's sad to say that we're this far out from the events in East Palestine, and those people are still just left to their own devices. Just deal with your toxic air and toxic water, and best of luck to you. Yeah. What more can I say? I originally I wasn't going to have it be an album all about that for the most part, but it's just I couldn't write about anything else. One piece didn't do it. Two pieces didn't do it. Everything else I wrote that wasn't about that, still it's hard not to have that imagery pop up again, or no matter what you're talking about, you can work it back over to this mass deregulation, be it railroads, be it child labor laws, just everything being aggressively wound backwards is disheartening, to say the least. So this is the first piece I wrote about East Palestine. I think just maybe 2 or 3 days after the fact. This is called Supersite, Children of the Fuselage. 100,000 pounds of vinyl chloride burned into the air and in the water with your fluoride. Today we'll demonstrate the role that profit plays in cost-benefit analysis to find the worth of your lives. Mind you, we'll be grading on a curve that traces dead fish on the shoreline. Today the town of East Palestine will know the skies of wartime, wear the shoes of Palestine, and know the smell of war crimes. Their pets and livestock will be corpses for the war shrine. This is how you sanction all your farmland in the Fourth Reich. I'm honestly surprised that Pete addressed it in a fortnight. Praised the first responders, but ignored the looming morgue line. Like focus on the cavalry, ignore that every horse died. Never mind there's not a single cricket, bird, or horsefly. It's just triclops in the triage tent who expedite the foreride. Norfolk taking pages out the north side. Add a dash of NORAD, plant a row of soil mines, give them lots of black skies and water bright with oil shine, and you can propagate the kind of crop that Gates will normalize. So save your time and give up ever going back to normal life. Norfolk cut its cost, and now this nation pays the morbid price. Norfolk weighed the loss as purely human, so they rolled the dice, knowing Biden had their backs when workers tried to unionize, knowing all their lobbyists are sure they won't be scrutinized, and knowing that the tiny little fine they might be hit with is a part of doing business when your business is to euthanize. To salt the earth, liquidate the brutalized, drench the plains in acid rain, and blame it all on rural minds. Tell them that's just what they get for voting red, and old Team Blue will fall in step and shake their heads and disconnect from humankind. They're never looking up, their fingers point to you and I. Thanks to years of being trained to frame the little guy. They've seen the film enough to tell you where the blame should lie. The poorest family's EBT card was the mastermind. Those little houses won't concern the liberal passerby. They had their dose of NPR. The passive voice will cast aside your raspy breath and swollen eyes, your burning cough that won't subside, your cat that didn't last the night, that pall of death, that blackened sky, that harvest faced in 10 years' time that reaps the waste of wealthy crimes, a 1,000,000-gallon deep decline through supersites and party lines, through hurried graves and leaded pipes, past poisoned slaves and slaughtered tribes, past forgotten treaties that we authored, then we compromised, past our moral fabric, ever brittle, gray, and fossilized, and past the mass of plastic trash that's just this side of ossified. And if you find one root that thrives, the living proof of fruitful vines, just hold it close. Take in the sight. Don't plant some host for parasites who in the name of corporate gains see all that murder justified. We're such a waste of insect paste and so much cheaper crucified. We're children of the fuselage, ghosts of all the food deprived, echoes of the working class whose crystal knocked was supersized. Out in Ohio, birds are drowning where they stand. Their eyes reflect a world event that devastates the land. And it's a tale of regulations disemboweled by prophet's hand, and their viscera that soaks like so much chloride in the sand. And that's Supersite.
Oh, I remember the first time I heard you play that, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, dude, how do you, I do, I marvel. I really do. And all of us do. We just,
Thank you, dude. Seriously. Thank you.
Damn. Punch people in the face. I mean, I want to make every Norfolk Southern executive listen to that. Like, seriously, like force feed it. Like,
all right, too. I'd love
like
to have them all tied to a chair and make them listen to that. Yeah,
like
right.
Clockwork Orange, strap them down. The old it out.
Oh man.
Yeah, so good, man. All right, so that was.
I can think of at least one person I'd like to tie to a chair and perform this next piece for. But he probably wouldn't know where he was. If you want to bring up a perennial edition, this is for Tara. This is Read Between the Lines.
Oh boy. Okay.
And man, talk about footage I wish I had. I performed this at the CPI event in Chicago that I'd been at last year, and the people took video, but as you know, everything with CPI kind of went tits up after that. And that video never materialized. I can't find anyone that has any footage other than Shepherd of Hopes, which I'm glad I have one thing from it. But reading that for a crowd, period, was overwhelming. Reading it with Tara sitting right there was like, I really had to, like, I wanted to be present, but I also had to kind of do like what Maynard had to do in the early Tool years, where just deer in the headlights and just tune out for a minute. Because if I focused too much on her, I would have just fallen apart, you know.
Yeah, if you looked at her, you'd have broken down. Like, yeah,
I did a quiet professional sob. It was a very restrained, you know, worldly man of the world sob.
I'll have to check in with Caleb and see if he has a copy of that anywhere. He knows anyone that has that.
Oh man, I would kill to have that. Powerless was not great that day because the guitar was so out of tune and I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I just kind of did it, and I was trying to tune it as I played. Like, I'd play a couple chords and go, Jesus, and try to like reach over and adjust it while I was going. But the spoken word was spot on. So
actually, I'm not sure if he would be is that still his thing, or didn't he resign from that?
I think it is, but I don't know if it's any of the same people, you know, that were doing like videography and stuff. I don't know if any of those people would still be, but worth finding out.
Yeah, we'll look into it for sure.
I remember when I did Shepherd of Hopes, though, I told people, you know, this is about the prospect of Bernie running again, and I said, if you fool me once. And I heard some lady in the crowd go, oh, it was so perfect. Like, already that line, to hear a response from someone in the crowd, like they know what's coming, you know, they know what they're in for. Like, it made me so excited to read it. So,
well, Gamer, he's been smoking this whole show, and I've been hitting on the pen. So if you're smoking right now, you can be smoking a joint with, or bong rip with me and Jesse, and we all hit it together. So smoke if you got them, everyone.
Yep.
All right. Let me go into presenter mode. Nice. That looks great. This is Read Between
I was going to spark up
Lines.
this joint tonight too, but I'm going to sound like Wolfman Jack if I do that.
And this is over at
Yeah,
Jesse
you
Jett.
have cats.
You can listen to this yourself at jessejett.bandcamp.com. Throw them a couple of bucks if you can, but all the music and spoken word is available to listen to for free. And it's amazing. So definitely do that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to hear the music in the background while I hear it, like in my head as I listen to you say.
This is one of the few pieces that I just cannot. My brain can't do that guitar run and say it. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
That said,
so
I feel like this guitar in the album version of this is me really wearing my my love for Coheed and Cambria on my sleeve. So it's a totally Coheed kind of a feel on it. Okay, yeah, this is this was obviously I'd written a couple pieces that talked about Tara and her coming forward, and that's what kind of started us talking on Twitter. And it wasn't until a good bit later that I was writing this piece, and I messaged her and I was like, "Hey," I said, "I'm writing a piece about you right now, and then once it's finished, I'd like to just run it by you before I publish it, obviously." And I sent it to her, and she was like, "Don't change a thing," And before I did, it just really struck me like what a unique position I'd found myself in already in the first, that was, year and a half of doing political music and being involved here, that I was able to like reach out to her personally and get her approval on something. I really have in these last 3 years since I put out The Virus, I have made some of the most meaningful friendships and connections that I'll ever have. And I really like you and Tara and Greg and Reef and Charlie. There's just so many more than I can list, but you guys just mean the world to me. And so Tara, this is for you. This is Read Between the Lines. Legend says that Hercules swept Cerberus right off his feet and effortlessly set him down as softly as a songbird. Atlas kept the world upon his back, and every day he wondered whether he could stand it any longer. And Tara Reade came out to say the man they tried to label the Messiah of morality was really just another rapist. And I don't intend to hesitate when asked who was the stronger. Tara, like Assange, knew that carrying the truth would be the hardest labor. Tara knew that her assailant wasn't going to make us any safer. Knew he's just the type of man to hand a decent foreign leader U.S. printed walking papers. And knew he'd be relentless and aggressive in the war he'd wage upon her very character, that his attempts to weaken and degrade and embarrass her would be her only compensation. But I strongly doubt that anyone could ever have foreseen the stream of hate that came from quote-unquote progressives and the self-styled titans of survivor advocation. So if you really think there's something to be gained out of sharing that pain with the world, then you're sorely mistaken. The Biden team just drug their feet addressing Tara's allegations until they had a decent list of smears, and then they aired them out on every station. And it turns out no one wants to hear the truth of who they praised as being worthy of such bloated liberal celebration. No one wants to really know the person they've so valiantly defended, even when it meant they had to gloat and shit all over someone braver than they'd be if given the occasion. Now cue the faceless comment squad invasion. Cue the people crawling out the woodwork to come analyze the way you wore your hair and what you wear, like your appearance waives your rights, or that somehow you're the reason for your situation. Somehow they've decided you should bear responsibility for what such monstrous men insist on doing. Somehow they're deluded by the empty, hypocritical, and useless fucking platitudes that bastard keeps on spewing.
And I think it's very telling that the best of your excuses when you try to come and justify our president's abuses is a hearty "but Trump." In which case, I'll remind you that you never saw the news attempt to sell you Donald Trump like he was morally upstanding or a decent human. But when Joe says something bigoted or ogles someone's little kid, CNN says, "Isn't this refreshing? Biden's like a mix of JFK and FDR with all the finer parts of Harry Truman." And Christ, I know they don't think we're the brightest, but at least pretend we've got a couple lumens. Ask yourself if you have ever questioned what they fed you, or do you just shut your eyes and then consume it? Now ask yourself if you ate every one of Biden's lies under the guise of harm reduction and the promise of a slight improvement. And now imagine long ago that Biden chose to show you who he really was by traumatizing you for his amusement. Now imagine that you watched him touch a Bible with those filthy hands and then assume the power of the highest seat in all the land, knowing your attacker wields a global coalition born of 3-letter agencies who will make a life's mission out of trying to discredit you through lies, damned lies, and collusion. Big tech is never gonna separate from our surveillance state. Fuck's sakes, they're just a breath away from total fusion. So there will come a time where even if you see the light, your voice will never reach the sky through all the bots and all the noise pollution. So trust us when we tell you that the masking of abuses is perhaps this country's oldest institution. And I know nothing nobler than facing it in honor of the truth when you know damn well that those in power have been neutralizing truth since there was wet ink on the Constitution. So know that Tara's truth is something crucial to the movement. And if you see yourself a partner to the revolution, help this country see through all the baseless propaganda, through the crux of Joe's illusions, and recognize that Tara Reade gave everything she had so she could tell us what the truth is. Recognize the decent thing to do when someone bares their soul and shows their bruises. It's not to ask for context or to offer up your own solutions. Your job is just to listen with an honest mind and put yourself on Tara's side a moment so you understand the path she chooses. That there is no instant fame worth the dragging of your name. And if that's what you think, then you've a lot to learn about the kind of facts the mob can handle and the kind that it refuses. You've a lot to learn about the news and all its many uses. I guess you've yet to learn the truth the news will serve is fruit from which they've squeezed out all the juices, and we all eat the husks and just pretend it's full of nutrients and isn't really useless. But the jaws of our ability to yield accountability are absolutely toothless. So don't you kid yourself that any lips are being loosened. They won't ever tell us where the bodies are or show us where the proof is. It's on you to recognize the lechery our president so regularly oozes. It's on you to muster up some honesty and ask yourself how Biden won your trust, but it's America that loses. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises. And that's read between the lines.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Know that Tara's...
Don't you start, because I'm going to start.
You killed me. So know
Don't
that
you
Tara's truth is
start.
something crucial to the movement, and that was it. I'm gone. That's it. You killed me. You killed me. You son of a bitch. Okay.
Okay, I got one more in me. You know what it is.
Oh, I do. Oh boy. Oh, now you're really gonna kill me. Okay, folks. I asked for this one personally, and we put it out yesterday on Substack, and it was World Press Freedom Week, which
Such as it is.
Holy shit! Yes, believe it or not, but
For all the good it does us, right?
we're gonna go Conviction Winter in Belmarsh. Free Julian Assange. Oh, Jesus Christ! What are you doing to me? Yeah, that's great. Yes, Reef does play that before every Tara stream. I listen to it all the time. And having the words up is really helpful also. I know Misty has commented often that she loves the fact that we put the words up and you can read along with it because, Cynic is saying Depop? She wants Depop.
Oh.
I guess this isn't such an awful place.
If I thought my voice could do it right now, I don't want to butcher it. I've also played Depop a lot. Not that I haven't, done these others, but Depop. Not that it doesn't belong on my greatest hits, by all means.
I think what we should. I think one night, like, we'll have everybody else dial in and sing Jesse's songs to him and serenade him with his music.
I would die. I would love that.
How funny would that be? That would be great.
If the next time we want to do like me singing a whole bunch, I might need to do an earlier episode because once it hits like 11 o'clock too, I start drying.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that. Drop the hashtags out.
All right. Yeah, this piece is really what started me and Misty's friendship. I mean, she was arguably the most vocal Assange supporter back when I first got on Twitter and still. And she I was watching her streams and started paying attention to the case more, and it was one of those things where you think you kind of understand it, and then the more you learn about it, you realize how misled we are about such an important issue, and the implications, the massive implications of his treatment and what it means for so many things. And writing this piece too, I realized that even if I wasn't talking directly about Julian, no matter where I went, it was one step to get back to Julian Assange, to tie it all in. It's like Kevin Bacon, only there is just like no more than one step away before you can get back to how this affects everything. If there's anything that you want to protest about or make people aware of or learn about, your ability to do that is quickly disappearing. And I've got some pieces that I feel like get a little more poignant as time goes on, and boy, if the last line of this doesn't just exponentially for me, it makes me really happy to see more people than ever putting pressure in some really big ways lately, and I just hope to fuck it's enough and not too late. Yeah.
In that vein, Caroline Kennedy was meeting with somebody from the Australian Parliament. Mm-hmm. She is our ambassador to Australia, and this is the first indication of any conversation and acknowledgement of the United States, even of what's going on. So
for sure,
Biden's due there in a couple of weeks.
Hmm? Yep, it's something.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, it's conviction. Winter in Belmarsh. If you thought you saw your freedom, it was truly a mirage. Freedom's locked a cell away from Julian Assange. Our First Amendment rights are by his side, behind bars. And the next voices silenced will be ours. Rest assured, democracy is rotting in the dark. Rest assured, we vilified dissenters, pushed out black renters, and tore down their housing just to build a little urban park. God, I tell you, old America really knows how to leave its mark, how to blaze a trail and leave 100 scars. Rip your free speech out your throat, demonize the man who told you it was so, and leave him freezing in a cell in Belmarsh, perpetually awaiting extradition, thrown to the wolves of claustrophobia and malnutrition. And all that we can hope is that we catch Uncle Joe in a fleeting, lucid moment of his flickering, senile fascist mission. That maybe we could trick him into thinking Julian is just a sweet, blonde, middle school Christian, and she got mixed up with a few bad apples, slapped with some charges, and thrown into prison. Joe would set him free without a moment's hesitation under one condition: that he could sniff her hair before she goes back to school and he goes back to business. But if Joe's just had his shots, then we haven't got a chance of getting past his black and white vision, getting past his gut reaction to appease all of his donors' sick requests and shape policy and law around corporate mandated decisions.
So really, all along, I think Julian was one man standing in a tempest with the fearlessness of true conviction. And if his is the only conviction we see after he shed a light on this country's most poisonous schemes all come to fruition, and we all collectively stare at the ground because we felt like our hands were too tied beyond signing petitions, while he's tortured to death for attempting to warn and enlighten admittedly not quite the brightest of citizens. And half of this country just won't take the time to uncover the truth, or they just don't mind, so they're quick to dismiss it and say it's a difficult position. Well, then we're back to the comfort of centrist delusion. Right back to sleep for the ignorant sheep who resisted themselves into one protracted contusion, twisting themselves into knots to correct all your stimulus check-based confusion, wrapping their necks round their backs as they justify overflow migrant detention or fracking pollution. Then Kamala laughs, and the camera pans down to her shoes. And that footage is 90% of your 6 o'clock news. Except for a feel-good story about a man who, at 95 years young, just made Employee of the Month at Whole Foods. And the $50 gift card means this month he'll afford his prescriptions and meals, and he won't have to choose. This is the machine that a man named Julian Assange threw his body on the gears of for you. So to cry out for his freedom is the least that we can do. Now, best believe the feds will serve to muddy up the truth, but rest assured the temperature in Belmarsh is an icy 22, and that Julian is shivering in a solitary room without a view. Rest assured Obama loves a whistleblower just about as much as he loves weddings where he doesn't get to detonate the groom. Rest assured Obama bought the plot where all our First Amendment rights are gonna rot, and demanded that they carve his smiling likeness on the tomb. So when you come to pay respect to your free speech rights and a somber feeling hits you and you look up to the sky, the answer will be staring you right in the eye to the questions of why and of who. So if you thought you saw your freedom, then they wanted you to. Human rights are mutable, and Julian is proof. Our First Amendment rights are stuck in solitary too. And the next voice silent might be you. That's conviction.
Yes, it is. Although they haven't convicted. And I hope that they don't extradite and they don't have a trial and we don't see that conviction. And no more winters in Belmarsh. Yeah. We got to get this guy out.
You're here.
I mean, they've already taken so much from him. It's...
Yeah.
Oof. Final be in Sydney on the 24th, as Ghost Start is saying. So, yeah, there's Misty put up a link tonight so that you can call to the embassy, to call to Caroline Kennedy and make a phone call, shoot a thing over to Merrick Garland. It, you know, believe it or not, it actually does matter. And they listen to that stuff. Does. And all this massive pressure campaign. Look, Lula was in London at the coronation and said something, and you've been hearing more and more. Albo just had an interview on the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. We covered that on How Do We Miss That on Sunday night, where he's talking about, you know, being frustrated and basically saying as much as he can say. I don't think he's done nearly enough personally, of course, especially being friends with Jen Robinson, who is Julian's primary legal counsel. Yeah, this was great. This was like therapy. I needed this too. I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah, same.
We'll definitely do another one.
Yep.
So for the 18 people who are here right now, I'm going to drop a little surprise on you all right now. And we're still working out the first debut on INN of when it's going to happen. But and Gregory Walker over on the Rockfin too. Thank you, and you're going to hear this too. But coming soon to INN, Bitch with Comrade Misty on Saturday nights. So get excited, get ready for that. like over the moon. Can't be more thrilled that we're going to be partnering with Misty to help her bring that back and get her the forum to be able to vent the way she vents and have guests and friends and talk shit and stream, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So Crab's been working on a theme, on an intro. We've got some backgrounds and some things, and within the next couple of weeks, you're going to be seeing Misty, a Bitch with Comrade Misty on INN. So,
Yep.
All right, everybody. So that was one of the big things we've got in store coming. Yes, Mindy Williams, that's correct. And yes, Kevin Wilson, everyone over on the Facebook, everyone who's watching, listening, Craig Morea, good to see you too. Thanks for joining. Mona, everyone. Yep. MCSE. I don't know what's going on with MCSE, but I don't know if what she's gonna do with it, but I think Bitch is basically gonna be an INN production at this point. It's Misty and INN, and I don't know. I love Nico, and we've been talking to Nico too, and I don't know what's happening with MCSE, to be honest, but that's the news. That's all the news that's fit to print for now. So this was so much fun. Again, we'll be back in 2 weeks, I'm sure. Yep. That'll be like the day after Memorial Day, I believe. No, the 20. It'll be the week before Memorial Day. Okay. So that'll be the 24th. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what we're gonna do for theme, but we'll figure it out between now and then. It feels like a year between shows now. I think this was 3 weeks because of the penalty box.
Mm-hmm. I think was it?
Yeah, no, maybe so. We only did 2.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, we did. So this was episode 22. This was our 1 year anniversary show. So we made it. We did it. I can't believe it, but I'm thrilled, and here's to 10 more like this, man. I could do this forever, right? Seriously. We could do a Grace Hits Part 2, honestly, because I didn't do Blocking the Light. I didn't do Depop, yep.
Shepherd of Hopes, Depop, Speaker of the House. Yep.
You could have done Love. You could also do Love Your Prison, and you could also do hashtag Squad Goals.
Yep.
And the Kissinger
$50.
Kissinger is going to be 100 years old, so we could have done
American Tradition.
Oh well, I was going to ask about that.
Yep.
I was going to ask about that.
We're doing a part 2.
As a matter of
2
fact,
weeks. Mark your calendars, chat.
Nice. I was going to ask you about American Tradition. Did we play that in episode 1 or episode 2? I think you played it.
We played it in episode 1. I did not play it well, but I played it.
Well, maybe in a couple weeks. It was
new show jitters, It wasn't.
Oh shit, Charlie Mac dropping a $20 super chat. Come on, man. Thank you, man.
That's officially our biggest super chat ever.
That's right. We got an Adam Ayers one over on Rockfin for $50. I remember once, but yeah, that's pretty damn big and very generous, Charlie. Love you. Thank you so much.
The Twitter accountants, they'll come after us.
Yeah. No, we got to add that to the audit sheet.
Screen grab that for the receipts folder.
That's right. I'll add it to the spreadsheet, so we send that over to the accountant.
Seriously.
Thank you. Seriously.
Thank you, everybody. It was awesome chat tonight. Really was. Not that you guys aren't always fantastic, but tonight was amazing. So we will be back in a couple of weeks for the next episode of American Tradition. It's true.
This has been Indy, and I got this guy, this super talented guy next to me. That's Jesse Jett right there. Show him some love. JesseJett.bandcamp.com. You can find all of my links at indieleft.media, but really this is the talent right there. And this again, it's a pleasure and honor to host this show with you and for you, and we love you, and we will see everyone in 2 weeks. So good night, everybody. Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. It's co-hosted normally by me, Indy. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me. We're all founding members, like I said, of
INN, the Indie News Network.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
Go to malentsplain.com.
Welcome to another episode of the show your parents warned you about. It's Reef After Dark.
Guys, it's Tommy Nate with Tommy Nation Politics.
I mostly make art for INN.
BigMadCrab, Joe. Keep up those great videos.
I'm Tatami of the YouTube channel Tatami's Diary.
It's Andrew Rivera. I'm the Handsome Cynic.
Stay high, everybody.
Hey guys, it's Yeti. Coming at you.
It's Politics and Survival.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Good Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion, and peace out.
Les Bones says Colin too fancy.
No, don't do that to me. Oh.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed